In the last lesson, I introduced the second finger and the function that it plays in between the first and fourth fingers. In this lesson, I wanted to review the finger spacing and the relative notes or intervals that you play underneath those fingers, as well as give you another exercise to help solidify that finger spacing. So first, let's take a second to review the spacing between the fingers. So we've been going over fourth position this whole time. So if we're in fourth position on the G string with first finger, we've got first finger D, and a whole step above that would be E. Now we play whole steps using 1 to 4 in the lower positions. We play half steps using either 1 to 2 or 2 to 4. So that would look like this. We've got first finger on D, half step above would be second finger on E flat, or we could play second finger on D to fourth finger E flat. So the spacing between your fingers should be equal between 1 and 2 and 2 and 4. So the second, third, and fourth fingers should be pretty close together. And that's something that you're just going to have to constantly remind yourself of, because this is the most natural shape. And a lot of people are taught this in school, but instead you want it to be equidistant between 1 and 2, 2 and 4. So now let's take a look at this exercise under this video. If you look under the video, you'll see a PDF called Second Finger Practice in Fourth Position. Now, this is the same position that we've been going over in this whole first section in fourth position, and the same set of notes, so you should recognize how to play them. But what we're doing here is we're using 4 and 2 to change whether we're playing major or minor. So let's take a look at the first line. We start on the open G, and then we go over to the D string to play first finger A, and then fourth finger B, which would be the beginning of a G major scale. So it would sound like this. That would be that whole pattern. And then the next series of notes, we go to minor using second finger. So we've got open G, first finger A, and then a minor third would be second finger. So this is what it looks like. And I like doing exercises like this where you hear the fourth finger and then you hear the second finger, because it helps you hear the intonation and then apply it to your muscle memory and where you actually put the fingers down. So then after this pattern, we've got a major versus a minor triad. So if you take a look at the next line, we start with the open G again, and then we're going to play a triad. So we've got fourth finger on B natural, and then the next note in the major triad would be D, first finger, fourth position on the G string, and again. Now, a minor triad would be the same exact thing, but second finger instead of fourth finger. So now that whole pattern will look like this. I'm going to put the metronome on 80 for the quarter note and play that whole G major and minor pattern. So now when you're practicing this by yourself, what I would recommend is to put a drone on the open string that you're starting on. So in this case, you'd put a drone on G. That really helps to hear the tonalities, which then of course helps you expect what note you're supposed to be hearing under the fourth or second finger, or the others, first finger or even the open string. And when you're doing this, if you can also put a tuner on, you can kind of alternate between the two, but what you want to be thinking about is the spacing between the fingers. That's the point of this exercise. So this is the point where you want to really hold yourself accountable, and if a drone isn't working for you, figure out what does. If a MIDI file works better for you, or a different sound drone, there are thousands and thousands on the internet that you can find. I'll link a couple under this video, or just a straight up tuner, or maybe even singing. Figure out a way to hold yourself accountable, because this is the spacing that you're going to use all over the neck.